Hello students, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Greetings to all of you. Today we are going to solve and look into 7th question, liquidation of your company. The following particulars related to a limited company which has gone into voluntary liquidation. You are required to prepare a liquidator final accounts allowing for his remuneration at 2% on the amount realized, 2% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors other than preferential creditors. Preferential creditor 10,000, unsecured creditors 31,000, debentures 10,000. The assets realized as follows: land and building realized 20,000, plant and machinery realized 18,650, fixtures and fittings realized 1,000. Liquidation expenses amounted to rupee 1,000. Now let us look into a detailed explanation. The following particulars related to a limited company which has gone into voluntary liquidation. You are required to prepare a liquidator's final accounts allowing for his remuneration at 2% on the amount realized. That means remuneration to the liquidator, salary to the liquidator is calculated at 2% on the amount of assets sold. ಆಸ್ತಿ ಮಾರಾಟದ ಮೇಲೆ 2% ಮತ್ತೆ 2% on amount distributed to unsecured creditor other than preferential creditor. That means liquidator remuneration is calculated even on unsecured creditor at 2%. So you need to check whether you have sufficient amount to pay unsecured creditor or you don't have sufficient amount to pay unsecured creditor. But don't calculate remuneration on preferential creditor. Actually, preferential creditors are also unsecured creditor, but they get first priority. That is why they are called preferential creditor. So, remuneration is calculated at 2% on assets sold and 2% on amount paid to unsecured creditor. Now let us look into the details. Preferential creditors 10,000, unsecured creditors 31,000. Then we have debentures 10,000. The assets realized as follows: land and building sold for 20,000. Plant and machinery sold for 18,650 and fixtures and fittings are sold for 10,000. So 3 assets are being sold. Liquidation expenses amounted to rupee 1,000. Here's the question, the solution that appears before you. So we have liquidator's final statement of account, receipt side, we have cash. We don't have any cash balance. Then we have land and building realized 20,000. Plant and machinery realized 18,650. Fixtures and fittings realized 1,000. Payment side, secured creditor dash. We don't have any information about secured creditor, so it's dash. Liquidation expenses, it's 1,000. Liquidator remuneration on assets 2%, on unsecured creditors 2%, on preferential creditor no. So it's not calculated on preferential creditor. That's why we have dash. On assets 39,650 into 2%. So we get 793. So on assets 2%, 793. On preferential creditor, no, we should not calculate on preferential creditor. On unsecured creditor, keep it pending. Don't calculate remuneration on unsecured creditor, because we should check whether sufficient amount is available or not. Remuneration ಬಂದು ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂತ ವೇತನ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಮೇಲೆ 2%, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ ಮೇಲೆ 2%. ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವೇತನ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನು ತಾತ್ಕಾಲಿಕವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ಗೆ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಹಣ ಕೊಡಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ 100 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಹಣ ಕೊಡೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ 102 ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿಯೋವರೆಗೂ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೋವರೆಗೂ ಇದನ್ನ ತಾತ್ಕಾಲಿಕವಾಗಿ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ದೆನ್ ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ 10,000, then preferential creditors 10,000. Now let us calculate how much amount is available. Receipt side 39,650 minus liquidation expenses 1,000 minus liquidator remuneration on assets 793 minus debenture 10,000 minus preferential creditor 10,000. So we have 17,857. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದೇ ಕೇವಲ 17,507 ರೂಪಾಯಿ. ಆದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ? we need to pay 31,000, but we have 17,507. So what to do? We don't have sufficient amount. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಆನ್ ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟಾರ್ will be calculated as follows. So on unsecured creditor, remuneration is calculated like this. 17,857 amount available divided by 102 into 2. So remuneration on unsecured creditor is 350. So total remuneration is 1,143. And unsecured creditor we pay 17,507. How you get 17,507? 39,650 minus 1,000 minus 1,143 remuneration minus 10,000 to debenture, 10,000 to preferential creditors. So amount payable to unsecured creditors is 17,507. Available is 17,857. Out of 17,857, 350 is payable to remuneration. Remaining 17,507 should be paid to unsecured creditors against 31,000. ನಾವು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು 31,000, ಆದರೆ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು 17,507. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ we pay only 56 paisa in a rupee. 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಕೇವಲ 56 ಪೈಸಾ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.